And that is that very often some of the papers were talking about what they had not seen. I mean, like, you can't, I have not seen the temple at Multan, for example. I can mention that there was a temple and that's about it. I cannot describe it because I have not seen it. So I would like to just say, please see. That's very important. And if you have not seen, don't describe it. You can mention it in the course of your article. Supposing you are saying temples of Shiva or temples of Surya, and they're available here, there, everywhere. But if you go into description and discussions, should this be this and that, we don't know. Like, I think Dr. Chitra Madhavan showed it very well. She mentioned the temple of Parthasarathi where there was a Satyaki. And I was very shocked because I've got there and, you know, it's always covered with a curtain. I have never seen the Panchaviras there. She did not say this is the only temple. She just said, I have not seen any similar representations anywhere else. So I'd like you to remember that. Then some people asked me, Madam, my friend sent a paper, and why wasn't it accepted? We have said minor deities in Indian art. I received lots of papers on minor deities, rituals, and so on, and mentioned in this book that Sanskrit text or that Tamil text. We are only taking it in art because we are looking at their representation. So those which did not bring in the art aspect, we did not accept. So if anybody's friend's paper was not accepted, please explain that it is mainly because it did not cover the aspect of art. So with that, we have our first speaker today, Dr. Choodamani Nandagopal. You're in for really a wonderful lecture. We are all. And I will leave it to Dr. Balaji to introduce the speaker.
Assistant Director Dr. Mohan will now introduce the speaker, chairperson, special speaker.
Suprapatam and a very good morning. Vanim Jitasukha Vanim Alikula Venim Babambudi Dhronim Veenam Sukasisupanim Natagirvanim Namami Sarvanim. This sloka by Kalidasa, you can see how you will represent in art. Vanim Jitasukha Vanim Alikula Venim Babambudi Dhronim Veena Sukasisupanim, he mentions. Without reference, Namulam Likete Kichit Nanapekshita Muchite. That is what Mallinatha says about Kalidasa and other elders. So, how representation, iconography, only very senior experienced people can describe all those things. With this morning we begin with a tea break. We have got all the special lectures this morning. To begin with Professor Dr. Choodamani Madam, and followed by Dr. T. Satyamurthy. And after tea break we have got Dr. Sudeepa Rai Bandavadhyaya. And the final one is Dr. Paramitadas. We have a video recording. And now I am very happy to make the introduction about Professor Madam, though she doesn't need any formal introduction, but it is our duty here. Dr. Choodamani contributed on the cultural analysis, tangible and intangible cultural heritage, comparative analysis of Ramappa temple with all the other styles of South Indian art and architecture, established cultural and human values, worked for the dossier of the UNESCO World Heritage Recognition, authored a well-researched and illustrated volume on Ramappa temple, and it is her own submission. She feels it is a humble service to our nation. In fact, it is the great service to our the Hindu heritage for all of us. In fact, we are very proud of that. Professor Choodamani Nandagopal, an internationally reputed art historian, author and academician, MA in Sociology and MA in History and Archaeology, PhD in History and Archaeology, Mysore University. She was the first UK visiting Nehru Fellow at Victoria and Albert Museum, London, UNESCO Fellow in Art History, UNESCO Fellow at Sydney, ICHR Fellow for the study of Kalyana Chalukya temples, and Tagore Senior National Fellow at the National Museum, Delhi, 2019-21. She served earlier as academic head at Chitrala Parishad and set up the Department of Art History at Bengaluru University. first academic head of IGNCA Bangalore, professor in cultural studies Manipal University, and finally retired as Dean officially School of Humanities and Social Sciences, Jain University Bangalore, an acclaimed academician, visiting professor in number of Indian overseas universities and consultant to museums. She is at present the Vice Chairman of the prestigious India Art History Congress, and Madam is the Founding Secretary of S.R. Rao Memorial Foundation, member of Advisory Board of Dharmothana Pratishtana Dharmasala, heading the content and design team of Kedarnath project through National Museum under Prime Minister of India, PMO, and Ministry of Culture, Government of India, guided 20 PhD candidates and 20 MPhil scholars, and in fact giving guidance and her learning experience imparting to the many number of seekers who go to her very willingly. And Arts and Crafts of Indus Civilization, 3 volumes, Temple Treasures, enactments of rituals in. She has published 30 books of national importance like Dance and Music in Temple Architecture, Arts and Crafts of Indus Civilization, 3 volumes, Temple Treasures, enactment of rituals in temple tradition, published by IGNCA Delhi, Art of Image Making, Rudreswara, that is Ramappa Temple, the crest jewel of Kakatiya heritage, Indian sculpture, a living tradition, dance and drama techniques, to name a few. And she has recently took over as the Director, Center of Excellence in Art and Culture Research, Chitrakala Parishad, Bangalore. That is took over as. We have to learn a lot from Madam. She is always used to say, "We are all aging, you will have to learn a lot." That is the lesson for youngsters. And she received prestigious Dhanachintamani Atimbe Lifetime Achievement Award from the Government of Karnataka in 2019 for her contributions in the field of literature, history and culture, and followed with many more awards. In fact, we are very much eager to. She is giving a topic, a special lecture on significant dynamism of minor deities in the regions of Karnataka. We welcome you, and we are very happy to welcome you, Madam. Please, we are expecting.
Namaskar and good morning. It's my privilege to be here again today. Dr. Nandita Krishna ji, Professor Maruti Nandan ji, Dr. Satyamurthy, Sudeepa Ray, and all senior scholars and young friends. Whenever C.P. Ramaswamy Iyer Foundation, the leadership of Nandita ji, organizes a conference, it's always an interesting topic and new research going into. Not that, whatever we have done earlier we can come and, present here. No. It will take us to a new path, and we try to go into good research, depth, so that we will be satisfied and we will be presenting with confidence. So that is the scope of the conference that Nandita ji always organizes, and Dr. Balaji also this time has taken it, and because of his and her efforts we are all here, and thank and the C.P. Ramaswamy Iyer Foundation and Mohanji to introduce such a lengthy. Sometimes you feel disgusted to listen about yourself. Feel like, just leave us, we just come and talk. Thank you for introducing. So, the topic today, I'll be going into the minor deities in Karnataka, their significance and dynamism. Partly I'll read the paper and then go to the slides. Go to the next. I have to change. Okay. Yes. In the process of understanding Indian cultural life, the mainstream art, literature, beliefs, aspirations, symbolism, worshipping traditions, and narratives are important. At the same time, we cannot ignore the regional art and literature or worshipping traditions and associated with narratives in tangible and intangible cultural forms of heritage, as they are equally significant. Each region in India has contributed in a unique way to composite culture of India. One of the distinctive features of the cultural life is the veneration of natural elements, and nature is the instant source for all human creation in art or science. The Panchamahabhutas, primordial elements in the form of air, water, energy, space and earth, associated with all animals, trees and water bodies, were directly worshipped with chants and offerings. In course of time, they were found worshipped in shrines with observance of customary rituals. The natural elements were conceived into iconic forms, and their roles in devotional faith of people were specified. Sacred texts and manuals prescribed the manifold eminence of gods and demigods to the adherents. An interesting characteristic hallmark of India is that folk, tribal, classical, main tradition and lesser tradition are all in parallel existence. They are all in parallel existence, endorsing faith in a given space of time. On the basis of the value system of faith and devotion, the minor deities occupy distinctive position in the regional narratives, pilgrimage centers, songs, art, worshipping traditions. It is equally important and significant to explore the dynamism of minor deities which hold the community worship from prehistoric times as archaeological evidences of worshipping traditions through the length and breadth of the region. Several minor deities are predominant in the devotional system, and they emerged with specific narratives, iconography, art forms and ritual process, and also evolved as pilgrimage centers. The ones that are selected here for their cultural significance and contextual analysis are God Subramanya, Chamundeshwari, Veerabhadra, Dandina Maramma, Kalabhairava, Nimishamba, Chaluvanarayana, Channakeshava, Nanjundeshwara, Manjunatha, Dharmaraya and Draupadi, Yantrothara Pranadevaru, that is the Hanuman, and the Bhuta worship. Apart from that, there are n number of gods and goddesses like Viligiri Ranga, Kaveri, Yellamma. Grama Devata tradition is so vibrant in Karnataka and in South India, most of the places we have. And for Bangalore, it is Annamma who is the Grama Devata. Annamma. And Durgava, Dyamava, Banashankari is for the whole forest, she represents Banashankari. Then Muneshwara. Muneshwara is also so important in all the groves, sacred groves. You will have one Muneshwara shrine, or even just a pebble is treated as Muneshwara. It's very important there. And so on, we can list. And even if we start listing like this, the conferences 3 to 4 days can held only on those lists. So many, deities are, because they represent some communities. They represent the faith of the community, aspirations, the following. Maybe they are having iconographic features or not, but the faith and aspirations of the people cannot be ignored. And the kind of traditions that is followed to propitiate them, that is also very significant in all these forms of gods. So now let us go to I think I'll go with the slides and then come back with the conclusion at the end. So now I have listed these, and now I will be talking only on these forms which I have mentioned here. Now I made a chart like this so that it's a kind of methodology that whenever we go to a field work, we have a chart for ourselves to identify and put them into proper. Then we can write on that. So we have the first round of data with us. So I started working on this particular format. So the deity I am discussing here is Subramanya. Subramanya is also known as Kanda, Kumara. What is Subramanya? Su is supreme and Brahmanya is knowledgeable. And the meaning of Brahmana is knowledgeable. And what is the place of origin of this particular deity? It is Kukke in Karnataka. It is Kukke, so he is known as Kukke Subramanya. And also, he is in Kumara Parvata, and the river that flows there is Kumaradhara. And then there is another place, Kshetra, known as Nagalumadike. Then the third one is Ghati. These are the three places, Kukke, Nagalumadike and Ghati. So meaning of Kukke is a round basket and deep. That is how you have to reach Kukke. You travel from Ghat section and then start going around and then finally end up in that place. So that is known as Kukke. So what is the iconography of this Subramanya? Subramanya is so common, like he is also known as Kartikeya, Shanmuga, Murugan, Andai, so many names are there. But here he is, I'll show the pictures and other things, you will know that what is Subramanya for them. So it is iconography, 7-hooded serpent. And in between you will have one small image of Shanmuga with 6 faces. Spear, or he will have Abhaya Hasta and veil, Mayuravahana, and it is said that Adi Shankara propitiated Subramanya. In his composition, Subramanya Bhujanga. So Subramanya Bhujanga, the meaning of that you find in the Skanda Purana also, in that particular chapter. And there is a Sthala Purana and legends. For all these places, there are legends and Sthala Puranas which are oral tradition. Sometimes you can standardize them with inscriptions or some other, historical records. Sometimes you cannot do anything, but you have to respect. Believe or authenticate is different. You have to respect the oral tradition which has come through. That is what we know as intangible heritage. So, Adi Shankara and Margashira Shuddha Shashti is the Rathotsava there, Ratha festival. So, then it is, why it is in the Subramanya in that form, snake or serpent. It is like, pleased with Vasuki, he, after the marriage of Kartikeya, he comes and settles there for some time. So Vasuki gives him the place, and that is why he will be under that Vasuki. That is the serpent form. And the rituals are so important there. That is for Naga Dosha Parihara. anybody is cursed with snakes or serpents, the people will come and do their offerings there. Even all celebrities of our country, they come and do the Nagaparihara, Nagadosha. They will say that you have some Nagadosha, go to Kukke. So they will go and do the Parihara, Ashlesha Bali, Nagapratishta, this Sarpa Samskara. These are all the rituals happen there. So nature of following, starting from Adi Shankara, the nature that Adi Shankara followed, and then from 8th to 9th century, there is an inscription of Ballada of 9th century which mentions about this Kukke. Particularly Kukke Subramanya, he mentions in his inscription. So initially it was only in the coastal Karnataka and some families of coastal Karnataka, but now it is so popular that even if you get 3 days continuous like this weekend, people would like to go to Kukke. That kind of popularity Kukke has received now. Let's see what is the form. And another thing is, I'll explain that. This is the Kukke Subramanya. You have beautiful landscape there, the hills and other things. And since it is Western Ghat, always clouds will be moving on the temple. And the Bhujanga, meaning of Bhujanga is the chal of serpent. So Adi Shankara, when he composed in Bhujanga meter this Subramanya Stotra. It's a long one, 52 verses, huge, very interesting, and he explains so well about the Subramanya. So that is, he is also known as Devasenapati. In all Vedic rituals, I have seen myself documented for IGNCA, when I was in IGNCA, 10 days after Yoma Yaga. Yagna, we have documented in Trishur. So there I have seen how Subramanya is propitiated in the Vedic rituals. He has to come and stand there, and then only the Vedic chanting will start. They call him Subramanyam. He will come and stand there. Or his chariot will first. They create everything there only, not this usual chariot. A small cart-like thing. It will come and stand there. It symbolizes Subramanya. He is standing there. And the Vedic rituals will start. So interesting it is. That is why he is known as, not just as leading Sainya, he is Devasenapati. This is the form of Kukke Subramanya. So beautifully, and they conduct with utmost purity. That's why people are scared to go near. Utmost purity. And I have seen 3 times after the puja, a huge serpent, not coming from the Garbhagriha, from somewhere it comes and moves around and goes off. After the puja, around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I have seen 3 times this particular happening. So all vows and rituals are dedicated to Sarpa. This is the Sarpa is the main concept for the Subramanya. And all the Prabhavali and the beautiful jewelry, everything is Sarpa form. The form is very important there. This is second one, that is Nagalumadike. Nagalumadike, you see this kind of, Nagapratishti for seeking the children. The couple, they don't have a child, they go and do the Nagapratishti. And under the tree, they place the Nagas, so many. So this place is Nagalumadike. And the third one I mentioned as Ghati. Ghati Subramanya is a very special. It is Udbhava Murti, not chiseled. And behind there is Narasimha. So both have originated there in the Garbhagriha where it is. And the rulers who supported this was the Gorpade rulers. They have created this temple and following and all that. So one interesting thing is, any person, he has to complete before the day breaks all the 3 places he should visit to earn the merit, punya. So first you go to, previous evening you go and stay in Kukke, morning you will have Kukke Darshana, then afternoon come to Nagalumadike, and then by evening come to Ghati. Ghati is near Bengaluru, 60 kilometers to Bengaluru. From Bengaluru you can go anywhere. So this is how people organize themselves to have the darshana of this particular Subramanya. So Murugan is so popular in Tamil Nadu, but Subramanya is equal level in Karnataka. To tell you, my husband's, Nandagopal's family deity is Murugan. It's not Subramanya, it is Murugan. Vel Murugan, that is Palani Subramanya. So every year we go to Palani. But Subramanya is so important and taken equally to that. Now we come to the second one, Veerbhadra. Veerbhadra is, as all of you know the story, I don't want to go into the Dakshayagna and what happens and all that. So he is born as Rudra. He is the form of Rudra, and all of you know that in Vedic rituals and Rudra, how much important Rudra and how Rudra has been described in the Vedic chantings. And learning Rudra is so difficult. So he is a hero to vanquish Daksha. He comes to that form only to vanquish Daksha Prajapati, who has insulted Shiva and Dakshayani. That is, so in Dakshayagna, to avenge, to revenge, he becomes the Veerbhadra, and then you find the Veerbhadra temples dedicated mainly in Vijayanagar period, Hampi, Lepakshi and North Karnataka. The followings are more in North Karnataka than in the south. And iconography, when you come to iconography, it's usually 2 hands. Sometimes they are represented with the 4 hands also. So there will be Damaru, Agni, Khadga, Khetaka, bow and arrow. Bow and arrow because he is the protector of the soldiers, warriors. He is the god who is the protector of the warriors. So we have the entire story in Devi Bhagavata, Skanda Purana, Mahabharata, Shanti Parva, Shiva Purana, and even Sri Tattvanidhi. Many texts mention about it and give the details, and many songs on Veerbhadra, because as he is the folk hero today, maybe he was classical in those days of Vijayanagar. So there are many songs are composed on him, and Shivaratri festival is dedicated to him in many places, and where the followers will walk on the fire. Walking on the fire is a custom in this particular worship. So nature of following, you have Vijayanagar in Karnataka, and he is a protector of warriors. He is very aggressive. That is why he is worshipped, propitiated, and you find the plaques of Veerbhadra in some of the families. They keep Veerbhadra and a huge sword. That means to say, they are worshipping that they belong to Veerbhadra, the clan. And probably they were the warriors of Vijayanagar time. This is one beautiful painting by Bhargav Patel. What happens to Sati? Shiva carries Sati after the Yagna. She fell into Yagna. And this is one nice Manjusha museum in Dharmasthala. And this is known as Bhava. Bhava carrying Sati. After that immolation, he carries Sati. And then you know the story that the Sati was, into so many pieces, and you have Shakti Pitas. Because of this form of Dakshayini, we have so many Shakti Pitas in length and breadth of India. So this is the Veerabhadra temple, Lepakshi, and that is the plaque I was mentioning in the domestic worship. In the procession they carry, on that particular day, they carry the plaque and also the sword. Huge, procession will be there. All families, each family will be carrying this, antique pieces. Now, so these are the Veerabhadra sculptures from Hoysala period, Vijayanagar, Vadayar period, and some are the wooden sculptures. So both stone and wood and metal sculptures you find of Veerabhadra. And this is from Nanjanagudu, Vadayar's time. Veerabhadra has been depicted, and Veerabhadra come to life as Veeragase dance form. It's a folk dance form, very popular in Shimoga district, but nowadays whenever some Karnataka festivals happen, Veeragase team will come and dance. So that is there. So they have kept alive the Veerabhadra cult in this form. It is also one dancer I have shown here. He is Perani dancer. Perani is a dance form originated in Karnataka. Later, you find these Perani sculptures in Jinanathapura. This one which I am showing you is from Jinanathapura, that is near Shravanabelagola. Observe the bells, gejje, and from here to, almost more than a feet, the gejje they should, they call it as gaggara. And then he will be having a chauri in his hand, and he will be dancing, and this is from Halebeedu. Halebeedu, if you see the ceiling, main ceiling, you can choreograph a Perani dance. So many sculptures of Perani I have identified during my research. So Perani dance is, today we call it as folk dance, but it has been mentioned in Manasollasa, Sangeeta Ratnakara, Nritya Ratnavali. All these texts talk about Perani Nritya. Perani dance has to be only men. Women are not allowed to dance. This is the Shiva Bhakta form. It's for the Shiva and valor and creating that kind of, force and other things. And when you see that, you feel that it is difficult to dance for women. Though they are trying now. Now why not? Do it. They are doing. But they feel themselves it's out of there. But this particular Perani you find in Halebeedu, Jinanathapura, then in Ramappa. Ramappa temple, very small sculptures, insignificant there. If people know what is Perani, they can identify. Otherwise, it is insignificant. But Nataraja Ramakrishna Garu, the famous guru of Kuchipudi, he has reconstructed Perani. And he calls it Perani Tandava. And that has become very popular now, Perani Tandava. But actually, Perani is originated from Karnataka, and so many kavyas will talk about Perani. They also give the technique of Perani. What is the technique? How to dance? How to make the movement of those gaggara? Using the feet like this, or this, or this, or this. How the bells make the sound. That is the way, the whole thing, Perani. So you can see the live of Veeragase. It is not Perani. It is Veeragase, which is live of Veerabhadra cult. Now this is the Veerabhadra. Look at the size of Veerabhadra. From Hampi, he is known as Uddane Veerabhadra. Udda means tall. And they have put that, you can see the priest standing on that slab and then doing abhishek or decorating. So such, size of the sculpture, and he is holding bow and arrow and khadga. That is, and these are some other images from Veerabhadra. Even in Bidar supposed to be one of the Deccani Sultan's area, but you have Veerabhadra cult very strong. We have these two from Veerabhadra, the Bidar, and this is from Lepakshi. Lepakshi, 26 feet is the Veerabhadra idol which is worshipped in the Sancto Sanctum. Now we come to Nanjundeshwara, Manjunatha, Kalabhairava. These are the forms of Shiva. Nanjundeshwara, what is this Nanjundeshwara? Nanjundeshwara, Nanju means poison. You know Nilakantha, the form of Shiva as Nilakantha, because of drinking that poison and stopped by Parvati. Then you have Manjunatha. Manju means snow. So probably he has come from the Himalaya, and that is how he is the Manjunatha. Kalabhairava is a ferocious, he is Bhairava form, one of the Bhairava. These are the three very popular in Karnataka as the shrine and as the art form. So Amrita Manthana time, as you all know, he drinks poison. Then Nanjanagodu, Mysuru around. People around Mysuru, it's family deity. And my father's family deity is Nanjundeshwar. Though they are Vaishnavas, their family deity is Nanjundeshwar. So you see the kind of thing, we didn't have that kind of, as we see the division today. It was not like that. That homogeneity was there in the following. So most of the time it is in linga form, both Dharmasthala as well as in the Nanjanagodu. But in Kalabhairava, he will have the iconography, like holding a sword, trishula, more hands. I'll show you those. And then you have the intangible heritage, Shiva Purana, and in Shiva Purana, Nanjanagodu was known as Gargalapuri. The name of Nanjanagodu was Gargalapuri. So the main ritual is Girija Kalyana. On the Girija Kalyana, you will have 7 chariots are drawn, and the people are, lakhs of people assembled there, and the ritual, actual marriage takes place between Nanjundeshwara and Girija. And in this one, Dharmasthala, the main ritual is Sahasra Rudrabhishek. Number of times they will be doing, starting from morning 4 o'clock, Rudrabhisheka starts. And once it is over by 10, then again continue. So like that entire day, Akhanda, they will be doing. And in Kalabhairava, it is tantric practices, Natha Sampradaya. That is why it is known as Jogi cult. Jogi cult is very popular because it is in the Giri, like the hill area. Kalabhairava, Adi Chunchanagiri. So the hill area, and you have the yogis, many yogis taking the vow and going to Adi Chunchanagiri. So when a yogi is going, a woman will ask, Yelli jogappa ninna aramane, Yelli jogappa ninna sthalamane, Yelli jogappa ninna aramane. She asks, where is your house? Jogi, where is your house? So he will say, Katnagatta, Karnagatta, Matigatta, Marnagatta, Alli Kaane Hinne Nanna Sthalamane. He gives all the places before reaching the Chunchanagiri. And you will find me there. So these songs like Kinnari songs, these are known as the set of Kinnari songs. They are very popular in Kalabhairava. So this is the Nanjanagudu, and you will be surprised. Nanjanagudu, of course, Wadayars are the chief patrons. Also Tipu Sultan, Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan were the great patrons of Nanjanagudu. And this necklace that I am showing you, it is the ruby necklace, I mean the emerald, very expensive emerald necklace, which has been given by Tipu to Nanjanagudu temple. He called him as Hakim Nanjunda. So he has the status as Hakim. So the diseases, if anything happens to you, you can go and pray for anything. So he specially placed the curing of diseases in. So this is very valuable necklace that he has donated because Hakim Nanjunda saved the elephant of Tipu. He went himself and offered this necklace to Nanjanagudu. And this is Dharmasthala. Dharmasthala is in this coastal Karnataka. Beautiful place to visit, and that is how you see Sahasra Rudrabhisheka will be taking place in the Garbhagriha. And they also have beautiful museum. I think all the personal collections of Virendra Hegadeji, from vessels to camera, he has put them in a new museum now. Even chariots, yesterday chariots, we had the discussion at the time, he has preserved 7 to 8 huge chariots in the museum itself, inside the museum. So I was also part of this restoration and work, wrote a catalogue for this museum. So that is one art, if at all you go that side, you have to see that. And this is the Kalabhairava. Actually it is the Kshetra for Gangadhara Swami. But Kalabhairava is more famous than, actually here Kalabhairava is the Kshetrapala. He is the guardian deity of that entire Adichunchanagiri. But he is more worshipped than the Shiva. Because Shiva will excuse, but not Kalabhairava. So that is the kind of, understanding. Now we come to Chalo Narayana. He is also known as Shelvapille or Sampat Kumara. Ramanujacharya, he worshipped him for 12 years in Melkote, and it is also known as Yadushaila. And Yadugiri Matha is, established there. Chaluva, what is the meaning of Chaluva in Kannada? Is charming. He is really charming. And then you have 4 hands, Shanka Chakra, Abhaya and Gada, standing in Samabhanga. And around the temple you have the Agrahara. Even today it is a live Agrahara you can see. If you miss anywhere, it is there in Melkote. Fortunately it has not been tampered so far. And then in the heritage it is Shashwata Samhita, Satvata Samhita and Pancharatra. Trikala Puja is there, and all Shodashopachara rituals take place there. And entire year you will have festivals and celebrities. So I have documented entire year, that is one kind of, study for me. What happens in a temple for entire, how many ways they can do all this. So that was, I made a methodology for that, created. What is ritual? We neglect ritual, we think that it is of no use. No. Temple is built only for rituals, not for art's sake. It is not our understanding of temple. It is the Western concept, art for art's sake. Here, art for divine sake. Divinity. Without divinity, we don't think all these things. So that is why you find that the Entire year you have to see that. Then Vairamudi Utsava is famous. I'll show you the Vairamudi, how it looks. And built in 1120 CE, there is an inscription. And who are the people? They are Ramanuja himself following. And the 52 ayers coming from Sri Rangam, and they are known as Thanikas. And those Thanikas are given proper roles and responsibilities to maintain the temple. Even today it is following. Even today. And then Krishna Raja Vadiyar, the very first Raja Vadiyar, he was an humble devotee to Chalvanarayana. And also, he is a family deity to many Sri Vaishnavas. Now we come to Channakeshava. Channakeshava is one of the 24 forms of every day when you do Sandhya Vandana, you say all those 24 forms. So Keshava is such an important form. Then what do you mean by Channa? Channa is beautiful, aesthetic. That is the meaning of Channa. So it is not just Keshava, he is Channa Keshava. So that is from Belur. Belur, all of you know that it is the UNESCO World Heritage Site today. It has been declared. All the three, Belur, Halebid and Somnathpur, ensemble. And you find that there is a foundation inscription on the pedestal of the deity, 1120 CE. There is a inscription. So the Hoysalas, Vijayanagar, Vadiyars, Vaishnavas, Vakkaligas, the agriculture families, we call them as Gauda or Vakkaligas. They are great followers of both Chalvanarayana and Channakeshava. Now this is the Melkote Chalvanarayana Swami. Is he not charming? If you go and see him, as Dr. Nandita was mentioning yesterday, or even Dr. Chitra was mentioning, that you should look at the eyes of the deity. What happens to you? You transform yourself. That is what happens if you stand in front of Chalvanarayana. And this is the Agrahara, the entire temples and area. A picture of Agrahara. It is still today, it is in the same form. You can see the houses. They are not tampered. So there are many rituals, as I said. A huge book I have written, and IGNCA Delhi has published it. So it is Angamani Utsava, homecoming of the two daughters. I mentioned to Dr. Nandita in our discussion how these two daughters become human, very human, on the day of Angamani Utsava. They are just docile, daughters of the house. They come that way. And this is our beautiful Sampat Kumara, created by Sri Ramanuja. He always kept him very close to him. So he is the Shallopille or Sampat Kumara. Yeah, this is Vairamudi Utsava. That is, the Vairamudi is the diamond crown. The diamond crown is placed on the head of this deity. Even Archakas, they should not see with their naked eyes. So what they do in a mandap, they keep the deity, and Vairamudi, they bring it from Mandya treasury. It is not in the temple. They bring that in a procession. They come in the guard jeep, then transfer into a palanquin, palaki, then bring it to the temple. After bringing to the temple, they will not touch and see that. It will be taken to that mandapa, where the god is there, and these people close their eyes and take the crown with the cloth. They should not touch also. With the cloth, silk cloth, and then place it on the god, not seeing. They are blindfolded. Keep it on the head of the deity, and then slowly they remove the cloth and they can see. There, this one is opened. That is how the tradition is maintained. And yesterday I wanted to mention about that Garuda. So Garuda, he comes and takes the security check. He comes out from his place and goes around and see whether everything is okay, whether God can come with his Vairamudi. So he does the security check. So, today we see the security check. Think about those days. Such a faith. When Garuda comes, security check is done. Okay? So this is the book. It's God's grace that I was able to write and work for almost 2 years. Many times it happens in the night. Whole night I used to stand and document everything. As I was mentioning yesterday, I became a little, rude in talking. Without going to the site, don't write anything. As Dr. Nandita said in the morning, you mention. Now, I'm also one site, I have not gone there, but I mention and give the source where you have taken. Otherwise, go and work there and then come with your. That is why we are always busy. Why? It's not just sitting and writing. We have to work that way. Okay? So this is one, but unfortunately this book is not available now, out of print. So maybe I'm requesting Sachidananda Joshi ji to print again. So now this is Channakeshwara from the Belur. Without decoration, he will be like that. The typical Hoysala sculpture, style and everything, art form, beautiful. And when he is dressed, he looks this way. And Garuda is an ardent devotee and waiting for the orders of the god. And this is the Channakeshwara temple chariot festival, huge festival it happens. And that is the Belur Bitti, the wall sculpture, art, hours together you can talk about this. And that is the Nagaveena player. There are 42 Madanikas, bracket figures. We call it as Madanikas or Shilabalika or bracket figures or Devangana or Surasundari. So they are different musical instruments and in dance and representing the dance forms of those days. It's not just a pose. Many people write it is a pose. It is not a pose. They are representing particular form. So out of 42 Madanikas, 2 are male. 40 are female Madanikas there. That's an interesting, that if you just put them together, one of our famous poet, D.V. Gundappa, he has written a book as Anthapura Geetegalu. So he has created all these, each sculpture he has described and made it as a form of music. So now come to I'll go a little faster now, few of them are there. So Dandina Maramma is another deity. Dandu means army. So this Maramma is not just a Maramma for drive of diseases or, fulfilling the wishes. She is the army, the protector of the army. So when they go for a march, they would go and propitiate this Dandina Maramma and go. So in Madugiri, a chieftain who was there in Madugiri, he supported Vijayanagar and Vadayar dynasties, and he had always an army. And that army always, had their place in that particular place, Madugiri. And this Maramma is also in our family, Nandagopal's family. They come from Madugiri. Irrespective of caste or creed, they have to follow her. So that is very powerful Maramma, and she is a Devi having huge sword, Trishula, Damaru, vessel in the hand, and seated in Leelasana, the position. And she is a folk deity, not agamic, because agamic rituals does not take place there. So she is still a folk deity. There are many legends. If you go and talk to those people sitting there, they will tell you number of legends belonging to this Marama. So all communities, including Jains, they follow Dandina Marama, because in Madhugiri, one beautiful shrine of Neminatha Tirthankara, because in Karnataka only 3 Neminathas are there. One of them is Madhugiri, beautiful temple. So there, they also follow Dandina Marama. Next is Chamundeshwari. All of you know how important she is, because she is the tutelary deity of the royal family of Mysore, and she has got all those iconographic feature, and she is placed in Shaktagama, Chamundikalpa, Shaktinidhi, in all these text, and Mysore Wadiyars and follow. And last one here, very interesting, Nimishamba. Nimisha means minute. So she is one deity who is very close. She is in Srirangapatana, and she is the deity of artisans, artisan community, jewelers. That place is known as Ganjam. In Karnataka, in Bengaluru, there is a famous Ganjam jeweler house, and these jewelers were the royal jewelers. And whatever I have documented, the jewelry from all the temples donated by the Wadiyars, they were all created by these Ganjam jewelers of those days. Now the heritage continues, but they have created all those jewels, great jewels. So this is, today she becomes very important, because Nimisha, within minute your wish is fulfilled. So most of visa seekers, youngsters, they are the devotees. They just give the exam, and next morning or next moment they are not there. They will go to Nimishamba to pray for their visa. And it happens, they are happy and come back and propitiate Nimishamba. So now the following has become so much large compared to earlier. Let's see them. This is Dandina Marama. So she was so powerful with the army movement, and she is always with that huge Kunkumarchana. Kunkuma, they will not take like this. They will take like this and put on her. Just like this. So you have to keep a huge vessel of Kunkuma there. So that is the way she is. So you can see, how powerful she is to lead the army. And that is Chamundeshwari, the Chamundi Hill. Beautiful. And when I was documenting jewelry, I was wondering whether Choodamani is a jewel piece, whether any temple has a Choodamani. So I was searching in almost Shardamba temple, almost all temples in Karnataka for my book Temple Jewelry. So finally I found Choodamani only in Chamundeshwari temple. Huge piece of jewel. It was donated by Mummadi Krishnaraja Wadiyar. So such valuable, not only from the point of view of, money, economy, from the antiquity, from the design perspective, from the content, from the art perspective, these jewels are so valuable. So this is the Mysore traditional painting followed with that, and that is Nimishamba. You see, the goddess is very small, and every day the Kunkumarchana takes place for the Sri Chakra, and those lemon things, you must be wondering what is that. These people, visa people, will take number of lemon and offer there, and they will be giving. If they are offering 10, 3 will be kept for God and 7 will be given back. So that is how the lemon increases every day. So now we come to very important deity, Chandala Parameshwari. She is also known as Hingala Mata or Bibi Nani or Hingula. So where is she? She is today on the banks of river Bhima, Sannati. If you go to Sannati for field work of Buddhist stupa, she is there, nearby. So, her origin is Baluchistan in Pakistan. Even today they worship her as Bibi Nani. That is the name they use. So, she moved to Gujarat from North Karnataka, Maharashtra, then Hunugunta in Karnataka, North Karnataka, Sannati, then she comes to Bangalore. She is also in Bangalore, one of the important ones. So the iconography is like Shakti. So earlier it was 3 large pebbles were worshipped. Then later it is transformed to agamic. And Kularnava Tantra, it talks about Chandala Parameshwari. Even Chandala Parameshwari Kalpa is there in Shakti Nidhi, it talks about her. So you find Kuladevata for all communities, Hindus, Muslims, Jains, during Kalyana Chalukya period. Yeah, completed. So this is not, I have not visited this place. This I have taken from one of Dr. S.R. Rao's daughter-in-law. From her I collected these pictures from Pakistan. This is a cave where the Bibi Nani worship takes place every year. And this is Hingala Mata in Rajkot, Gujarat. Then she comes to Hunugunta, and this is Chandala Parameshwari temple, Sannati. So it is the family deity of Dr. S.R. Rao. He didn't know for long. When he came to know that it is their family deity, he took it seriously. He got into research, and the whole family worked on that, and they built a temple in Bangalore. So you must be wondering, what is this? This is the Sannati Shasana of Ashoka, Ashokan Shasana, and it was used as pedestal for Devi to put. And here it's the old image now discarded, and they have placed the new image. But this Shasana, that is inscription, is taken to Salarjung Museum. And it is lying there, Salarjung Museum, without any description or anything. It is just there, that's all. So this is a very important Shasana, the inscription of Ashoka in south. This is the Bangalore, near our house, near S.R. Rao's house. There is this whole Paduka is very important for her. There is a legend and myth why Padukas are to be worshipped. So come to the Kannika Bhagavati family deity. It is also one of the Kerala Bhagavati is worshipped. You all know, how important, I think Dr. Satyamurthy will be covering that. And in that you have Kannika Bhagavati in Bangalore as a family deity. Now this is the Draupadi and Dharmaraya. There is a clan, Vahani Kula Kshatriyas. For them, it's not only for the family. Old Bangalore people follow this Dharmaraya and Draupadi cult. This is some of the Karaga festival and the temple, Dharmaraya temple in Bangalore. Very rare. We have Dharmaraya temple in Bangalore. And this is how Draupadi is dressed. And this is the impersonator who is going to become the Draupadi. And this is the Draupadi within the shrine. And there is a small ritual where they have to visit the mosque, which is nearby. Near the Dharmaraya temple, there is a mosque, and after dressing, Draupadi will go and visit there also. And this is Virendra Hegdeji taking the blessings from Draupadi. And this is how they walk on the fire. Even in Tamil Nadu, you have the custom of Draupadi. I really wonder, Draupadi in the north, how she traveled to Karnataka and Tamil Nadu and became so prominent here. And North Indians, when we talk about it, they are surprised. Is it so? And this is the Vahnikula Kshatriya, Atreya Gotra, there. And they follow the offering to Draupadi. You find this is in a public place, in Sarakki. When you are moving in Sarakki, you will come across this. And this is the last Kishkinda place, that is Hampi, Yantrodhara Pranadevaru, Hanuman, who was this concept conceived completely by Vyasaraya, Sri Vyasaraya, the sage Vaishnava, and he has conceived the Hanuman in a yantra, because there was a problem for Vijayanagar Hampi. So Vyasaraya felt that from his Divya Gnana that it should be controlled. How it should be controlled? Put Hanuman. And Digbandha. When you make the Digbandha, you can see the iconography there, how the Digbandha is done. Within the yantra, everything will be focused within. So Hampi can be safe. That was his idea. After that, he has created 100 temples of Hanuman. That is how Hanuman cult becomes so important in Karnataka. We claim it is Kishkinda is Hampi, and it is Vyasaraya who felt that this place should become Jagrata for Hanuman. So this is the thing. And this is the Bhuta, Panjurli Bhuta, and in South Canara, if you go, whole night Bhuta thing happens, and there will be, it is both tangible and intangible heritage flows. Like they are the Padadana, they call it as Padadana, oral tradition. The person who is here you are seeing, one is Panjurli Bhuta, the other one is Kodamanataya Bhuta. Look at the way they dress and all that. And they are ferocious when they are in that form. And the entire community of the whole place will be around them. After completing, they will be asking what will happen to the town this year. Is it safe? So that person will give the bhavishya. What has to be done? Any problem is there? How to sort out those things? So Bhuta cult is so popular. It is not Bhuta devil there. What we talk as Bhuta, it is not that. So it is a form of deity. So this is the Bhuta Radhana, the dress and tangible and intangible. And I come to the last one paragraph on conclusion, because without conclusion things never end. So, temple culture is one of the signature features of Indian civilization. India is recognized as a great nation because of its deep-rooted cultural values. As long as these are valued, our nation continues to hold the highest position globally, upholding the spiritual consciousness. Our divine paths are paved to pray for the well-being of the entire humanity. In the pursuit of divinity, India identifies architecture, iconography, material culture, people, rituals, and the sacred places linked to it. The sacred places so identified are marked as the pilgrimage or tirtha, the centers of which temple structures, icons, art forms consecrated with the performance of ritual practices, which form an integral part. All these holy sites, the tirthas or sacred space, have mythological and symbolic significance attached to them. The pinnacle act of Hindu worship is to stand in the presence of the deity and to look upon the image so as to see and be seen by the deity and to gain the blessings, and that is the Divya Darshana. India has thousands of pilgrimage sites associated with different deities and sects like Shaiva, Vaishnava, Shakta, Jaina, Sikh, folk and tribal traditions. I don't think any other country can have such cultural plethora as India is. I thank for this opportunity. I took little longer time. Please forgive me for that, Nandita. And I really enjoyed working on this particular paper. I really enjoyed.
Thank you very much, madam. It's highly inspirational and that intriguing talk, and you set an example to the youngsters how to do the research. Thank you very much.